Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Today we're going to be talking about the case of Brittany Gosney and her boyfriend James Hamilton. So Brittany Gosney was a 29-year-old single mother of 3 from Middleton, Ohio. On February the 26th, 2021, James Hamilton, which was Gosney's boyfriend at the time, gagged and hogtied all 3 of her children, ages 7, 9, and 6, for several hours, terrorizing them and inflicting some serious harm. The day after, which was February the 27th, 2021, around 3 a.m., Gosney drove her 3 children to Rush Run Wildlife Area Park in an attempt to abandon the children because of the pressures that she was receiving from Hamilton. As Gosney attempted to leave, her 6-year-old son, James Hutchinson, the youngest one, clung on to the car door handle. In an attempt to drive away, Gosney accelerated the car, dragging James, and ran him over. Realizing that James was unresponsive, Gosney placed his bloody body back into the vehicle along with her 2 other children and went back to her home on Crawford Street in Middleton. At home, they placed James' body in a spare bedroom for approximately 48 hours.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
I'm trying not to get off at you, okay? But you're me, okay? And that's not going to be good for you. Meaning that, you're yourself over by not telling me the whole truth here. You know what the happened to your boy. I know you know, okay? Tell me what happened to your boy. You did what you did, it's done and over.
James Robert Hutchinson. He was just 6 years old. And this is a picture of his mom, Brittany Gosney. The story begins when she reported young James missing in February 2021. She reported James missing on a Sunday morning, but said that he had been missing since Saturday night, which police later said was suspicious because why wouldn't you report your child missing to the police Saturday night? Here's the story that she first gave officers at the station.
Is you have to be 100% honest with me with everything, okay? Because we're missing a 6-year-old little boy, and we're trying to figure out where he's at. I got to make sure he's safe. Okay, so, your cooperation goes a long, long way. Okay, but you have to be honest with me with everything, no matter what the circumstances are. Okay, so you can remove your mask if you would, if you don't care. Do you care to take off your mask? Okay.
As long as you don't have COVID.
I don't. Do you?
No.
Then we're good. Okay. So what happened? What time did you guys go to bed last night?
Well, the kids go to bed at 9.
Okay.
And we normally go to bed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I knew, I told them all it was 9 o'clock, time for bed.
Mm-hmm.
So they all went upstairs to their rooms. And I went upstairs a little bit later to see if they were asleep.
Sure.
And they were all asleep. So then that's when I came down, waited a couple minutes just to see if they might have come downstairs or something. And then I went to bed.
Okay. What time did you get up this morning?
He woke me up at 8.
He woke you up at 8. Did he wake you up any time before that to say that James was missing?
Not that I remember. He
Okay.
said he tried to wake me up several times, but
You don't
I'm on
remember?
medicine, so
What kind of medicine do you take?
I take anxiety meds.
Okay. I do too. So, what's it called? What do you take?
Hydroxyzine,
Mhm.
3 times a day, and then I take this blue pill. I don't know what the blue pill's called.
Okay.
At nighttime.
This is where I need you to be honest with me. It is what it is, okay? Do you use any other type of narcotics, drugs, illegal drugs, or anything? Do you smoke weed? Do you,
No.
Okay. You don't use heroin? You don't use,
No, I've had family members that
Meth,
passed away from
anything.
that stuff, and
okay. Do you
that
know,
pushes me away. So.
do you know if your boyfriend does? Does he use any type of dope at all? Not that you know of. Well, you would know more than anybody. That's what I'm asking.
So let's talk about how Gosney wound up at the police station. On February the 28th, 2021, at around 3 a.m., after the other children were asleep, Gosney and Hamilton drove to the interstate 275 Ridge near Lawrenceburg, Indiana. They allegedly tied a concrete block to James's body and disposed of it in an Ohio river. At 10:16 a.m., Gosney and Hamilton reported James missing to the Middleton Police Department, claiming that they had not seen him since the previous night. At 10:53 a.m., police found their story very suspicious and initiated further investigation. At 2:30 p.m., after questioning, Gosney confessed to the events leading to James's death and the disposal of his lifeless body. At 3:19 p.m., Hamilton was arrested and charged with tampering with evidence and abuse of a corpse. At 9:18 p.m., Gosney was arrested and charged with the murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence.
But James is what, insisting that you take him somewhere?
He's been on me for months. Well, since we moved in the new house, he's been basically nonstop. I'm sick of kids. I can't handle kids anymore. My son's old enough. Y'all need to leave. And I've been asking my sisters if I can stay, like, move in with them, as I was telling you earlier. And my older sister said I couldn't because of some type of rent agreement or whatever it was. And my younger sister told me just to duke it out.
What does that mean?
Just deal with it.
So dealing with it was just taking him up there and dropping him off and then going on your merry way?
No. She told me just to...
I know what you're saying, but you're saying that the way you were finally going to deal with it is just because James, you're saying James didn't want the children around, right?
Yes.
Okay. And James told you to get rid of them. Did he say how to get rid of them?
He said he didn't care how to get rid of them.
So then your plan that night was to drive them up to the park and just drop them off there. But you don't know how James got on the ground?
No.
Fell?
Last time my daughter told me before I got back in the van and I shut the door, he was just standing there looking at me.
Right.
And was trying to get in the door and then just stood there for a minute to see if I was unlocking the door.
Right.
From the inside. My daughter told me exactly that he went to go stand up. I'm guessing because when I moved forward, it made him kind of fall, stagger, or whichever. And she said that he had fell down, tried to get back up, and fell right back down.
Okay. So we'll get that from her. She'll explain that. Is that what you're thinking? She'll be able to explain it that way?
Yeah, that's exactly what she told me.
So when he grabbed the door handle,
she said
you think maybe you drug him? Not knowing you drug him?
I might have. I honestly don't know. But when I looked back, I didn't see him having a handle.
But you did tell me you saw him, he was on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so
when I glanced back, I thought he was just sitting there on the ground. But my daughter said, no, Mom, you went around him, and you didn't run him over.
Why would she say that at age 8? I mean, what brings to her mind?
Because
did you ask her?
I asked her, did you see what happened? Because I was kind of shook up, confused. So, and she was standing right there. I seen her standing right there. And she said, no, Mom, you didn't run him over. She said you might have accidentally drugged him, not knowing.
So now she's saying that you accidentally drugged him?
Yeah.
On March the 1st, 2021, authorities began searching the Ohio River for James's body, but it had not been recovered. Gosney's 2 other children underwent forensic interviews at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Both Gosney and Hamilton were arraigned, and Gosney's bond was set for $1 million and Hampton's at $100,000. On February the 2nd, 2021, a search warrant was executed at their residence on Crawford Street. September the 13th, 2021, Brittany Gosney pled guilty to 1 count of murder and 2 counts of child endangerment. She was sentenced to 21 years to life in prison. James Hamilton pled guilty to kidnapping, gross abuse of a corpse, and 2 counts of child endangerment. He faces a maximum of 19 years in prison, with sentencing scheduled for October the 4th, 2021.
I was like, where's James? They was like, he's back there. I said, okay, but where's James at? She's like, Mom, I think he's dead or something's wrong with him. So I went back to see what was going on with him, and he was just laying there basically dead. His head right here was busted.
Okay. Now listen, you're really trying to help yourself, and that's good, okay? But you're still not telling me the truth. You're not telling me the truth. I need to know how James got himself killed. What happened?
So you're talking about basically when the first time I went and dropped him off before I left.
Yes.
I went in the parking lot. I sat there for a minute, was thinking. I didn't make him get out at that time. We were just sitting there, the car was still running, the headlights on. Well, I was like, get out. And I told the kids I was sorry. And the older two, the only one got out.
Right.
Well, James sat in the back seat all the way on this side.
Passenger side?
Yes.
Okay.
And was laying there like he was asleep, but he wasn't. I set him out on the ground. He stood up and said, Mom, we don't want to be here. And he kept trying to open the car door. Well, it locks automatically once you get in there. And I'm trying to remember correctly. I was sitting there. James was standing there trying to get in the door. I noticed the other two were by the bathroom. Well, towards the bathroom, because I seen the bathroom right there. And I went to go pull off. I'm not sure if he had the handle. And I went forward. I didn't hear no
blood or anything.
No.
All right. You know he probably had the handle.
Yeah.
Okay. And
did
you run over him with the car?
No.
By accident?
No.
Did the tire go over his head? Go over his body?
No.
All right. So you're saying that you think that he may have had the handle and as you drove off, he fell?
Yeah.
Okay. But you know really what happened?
No, I know for a fact he had that handle.
Okay, so he was holding the handle?
Yeah, because he was kept trying to get back in there.
And you drive off?
Yeah.
How far did you drag him?
I went to as you go out, not all the way out, but as you go
towards
to head out.
Right.
And that's as far as I got, but I didn't hear no noises, as I was saying.
Right.
And
so is that when he fell off the door? Once you got out that way?
Yeah.
All right, so how far do you think you drug him for?
Well, I had dragged him from where we were sitting, parked, and he had a handle. I didn't realize it, and I just drove on.
You just told me you saw that he had the handle, so you did realize it.
Yeah, he had a handle, because he...
So you did realize it.
Very sad, very, very sad. Words cannot express how sad this is. After Brittany Gosney and her boyfriend James Hamilton disposed of the body of little James in the Ohio River near Lawrenceburg, Indiana. After extensive searches, they were not able to recover James's body due to the strong currents and the murky water conditions. To this day, they have not been able to find James's body. Authorities officially called off the active search after weeks of trying. To this day, James's body has not been found. Rest in peace, little James. God knows you did not deserve this.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.